beauty of the live environment.
Yeah, this. Oh God.
This is great. I got my own little TV. This is perfect.
Yeah, I got it all.
Adam's doing a fantastic job so far. It's been really good.
So first of all, you're actually playing this right now.
Yeah. That's
right.
And I do want to emphasize how beautiful this game is.
Oh, thank you.
Well, yeah, Brian, tell me a little bit about what you guys want to show us this evening.
So I think, the big thing is, again, I think that part of the Spider-Man fantasy is to swing around New York City and, to have, not only just a great story, but have a bunch of different activities in that world. And we wanted to, give people who attend E3 an opportunity to experience that. So, obviously it's a big narrative-driven experience, but at the same time, part of that superhero fantasy, especially that Spider-Man experience, is living within New York City and seeing that. So, Adam is he's one of our combat pro players because he's a combat designer, and again, he's just showing off some really awesome stuff that as you get better with the game, obviously, we wanted to have a pick up and play feel, but at the same time have a level of mastery and to really show off the improvisation that we've really been talking about a lot since we announced the game.
I'm digging this, like sticking dudes to walls and to the floor and stuff. That looks really satisfying.
I think the thing that's been really fun in these last, I would say last 6 months since we got back from the holiday break was every week I feel like I'll take the game home or I'll be playing one night and then I'll come in and say, wow, guys, I didn't know you could do that. So I think there's a lot of that. There's that sandbox nature to it as well. So, obviously you can, we have, we're going to teach you mechanics, but we want you to experiment with, his acrobatics, his webs, his gadgets, his suit powers. So combining all that stuff really allows for a lot of different gameplay and a lot of, Spider-Man's a very expressive character, and we want players to be able to express that, whether it's in traversal or in combat.
It's gorgeous.
These animations, these animations are just blowing my mind.
Your studio has kind of been renowned for character animation and for, just fluid motion. I mean, did you guys take a lot of lessons from your previous games and really like hone in on those when you were developing?
I think animation's definitely been one of the hallmarks of our company. From Spyro to Ratchet to Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
And I remember when the Sunset Overdrive reviews came out, one person actually wrote, it would be great to see Insomniac make a Spider-Man game. And I was like, see, we should make it.
See?
And
I think you waved your phone around to the whole studio.
Exactly. We took that kind of mentality and we just injected our personality, but also, what do people want, desire from a Spider-Man experience. So, what was really great is I remember probably around the end of the year, end of last year, someone wrote an article about the top things they want to see in Spider-Man. And they said they want to feel like an Insomniac game. So I think that's the thing we've been really layering on in this last year is to have that, it feels like an Insomniac game as much as it does a Spider-Man game.
And I love this traversal, just the fluidity of just moving over great distances very quickly. It looks like a lot of fun just moving around, and that's when you know you've got a great game.
Okay, so so how I kind of said like experimenting, but like sometimes, game development, we're in meetings a lot, and then sometimes you just need to like take a break. And what I used to find myself doing was just swinging around New York City. It was almost like therapeutic. It's just kind of like when I play other games, I just walking or running or even taking a car. It feels so more natural now just to swing around like Spider-Man. So it's definitely one of those things that has that, again, just like combat, that pick and play feel, but we want players to have a level of mastery as they play and get
What
better.
was that? Hold on a second. That's very interesting what you're saying there.
So like I said, Adam showed off, I think he showed off the tripwire. It's basically a gadget that you can either attach to a piece of geometry and the enemies walk by, they'll get like grabbed and sucked back, but you can also attach it to an enemy, and if an enemy walks by, they kind of slam into each other.
That is amazing. This is so cool. What's this focus meter about?
So the focus meter is basically, there's kind of a risk reward. As you build focus, you can use it to heal.
Sid's having a religious
experience. It just looks incredible.
Okay, thank you. The team works really, really hard on it. Really, really hard.
Clearly.
And the idea is the focus is kind of a way to, it's a risk reward. Like I said, you can either heal yourself or you can kind of, if you fill up the bar a certain way, you can actually pull off a finishing move. So, as you play the game, you can kind of say, well, do I want to maybe heal myself real quick, or do I want to wait for that really extravagant move to kind of take the guy out instantly?
Got it.
Brian, a question for you is obviously Spidey has, as with his experience being under the mask for so many years now.
Yep,
in
8
your
years.
story, 8 years. Thank you. You got to be precise.
I got it. One of the first questions I get is like, is it an origin story? I'm like, no. That was
No,
like
he's
after we decided that the webs were definitely attached to the buildings, we decided it's not going to be an origin story.
But you know, back to the combat. I mean, Spidey's experience. He has access to a lot of different techniques and technologies. How do you balance out his experience with the fact that you don't want to overwhelm a player with options, right? You want to make it approachable.
You know, I really that comes down to our combat team, our traversal team,
like
and
this
our,
guy
our
right
design,
here.
like Adam, and really going, okay, you know, kind of handing that stuff out over the course of the game. You know, finding those right spots where you kind of, okay, we're going to teach you how to punch and how to kick and how to punch guys up in the air and use your webs. But then we layer on things like gadgets and then the suits and the suit powers. And it's kind of giving over time. If we just, you know, one thing with something like E3, you know, we want you to feel great, right? But there's a lot to learn really quickly. So just, you know, normal course development, we kind of find those spots in the game where it makes most sense to teach those mechanics. And then as the game goes on, we want you to master those because the game's only going to get harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Sid,
That's
what do you
great.
think?
I got to say, this game is
Beautiful,
looking
right?
absolutely gorgeous. This is, I mean, this is just, I mean, it was looking spectacular to begin with, but this is on a totally different level. And I can just
we're
see
seeing
that
so much.
I can see that polish, though. That's the thing, and that's what comes out in that final few months of development.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys watched the press conference, right?
Sure.
You saw all those games, those first-party games, and they all have a level of polish. And to be in a press conference with the likes of a Naughty Dog, a Sucker Punch, Kojima Productions, we are very honored to be, and we know there's a certain level of polish that people expect from a PlayStation game, especially a first-party game. So we want to be considered right up there.
Well,
And not to mention also from the Marvel, you know, Marvel fans
course.
expect to have that perfect experience.
of course.
May I just ask real quickly, you know, as we're starting to wind down here, from a personal perspective, I mean, what's it like for you and for the team to be able to kind of look up at the big screen and see your game after all that time and all that work?
I'm known as a crier, so it takes a lot for me not to get choked up. Like right now, they're playing the theme song to the game in the background as we're sitting here, and I mean, this is an amazing industry, and to be part of it is one thing, but to work on something you truly love is something that when you were a little kid thinking, oh my God, could I ever work on a Spider-Man game, let alone be in video games, is just absolutely surreal. I use that word a lot when I describe working on this game, and to work with a group like Sony and work with Marvel, and that feeling is felt by so many Insomniacs. So we couldn't be prouder, and the support we've gotten across the board, not only from Sony, Marvel, but also the fans, has been spectacular.
Nice work with
Brian,
the bombs, but you
it just
made
looks
to your throat
incredible.
too
I mean, there's
much.
no other word for it. And
You're flabbergasted.
I really am. It's stunning. I mean, just look at that. How can you not be blown away by that? But we do have a limited amount of time here. Brian, you're an industry veteran. You've been in the industry for a long time. I know this is a lifelong dream for you working on this game. And I want to thank you and Insomniac for making it.
Thank you for having us.
And for coming by as
Thank you for the
well.
opportunity.
Spider-Man was so awesome that it broke my mic, and I have to use the stick mic now.
I was gonna
I thought you just wanted to look different from all of us.
Yeah, I just wanted to stand out a little bit.
Yeah.